All right, everybody, Cinephile Mike, your friendly neighborhood cinephile, is here with day 51 of Award Season Review Season 2, and we are moving through Razzies Week. Now, our next two films, as promised, to deal with the devil. Like the shirt? Kind of fitting for today. First up, we have Screen Gems' The Pope's Exorcist. Written by Michael Petroni and Evan Spiliotopoulos and directed by Julius Avery, The Pope's Exorcist had a total box office take of $76,987,621, with $20,009,380 coming from the domestic box office and $56,978,241 coming from the international box office. Now, this film doesn't have a lot of Razzie nominations, but it did pop up for two. Its lead, Russell Crowe, who plays real life priest and exorcist Father Gabriel Amort, is nominated for Worst Actor, and Franco Nero, playing the Pope, is nominated for Worst Supporting Actor. Are these nominations warranted? Well, let's see. So, The Pope's Exorcist takes place in late 1980s Europe. Father Amort is the main exorcist serving the Pope out of Vatican City. Now, Father Amort, known for telling the difference between possession and maybe those who are mentally ill and just need a little psychological approach. His reputation, not very well received by some of his colleagues, and some of his colleagues in Vatican City don't believe that possession is real. However, at the Pope's insistence, he heads to Spain because there is a possession that needs his attention. And the site where this is happening, we learn, is one that has given the Catholic Church trouble in the past. Now, as we know, this film is based on two books written by the real Father Amort and the stories he tells, so it is fascinating to see how these are interpreted. Now, the site here for this film, as we learn, is a former abbey in Castile, Spain. Now, the abbey is under ownership of Julia, an American widow, and the reason she has this is it was bequeathed to her by her husband, who recently died in a tragic car accident. So she has now temporarily relocated herself and her two children, Annie and Henry, to the abbey so that she could supervise the remodeling and repair and sale of the house. Because as this was what the husband left to her, this is the family's primary source of income. So, however, through a series of events, Henry becomes possessed. And this is the case that Father Amort has to come to address. Armed with his bag of tricks and on his little moped, and a partner in young Hispanic priest Father Esquivel, Amort will attempt to work with his colleague and save Henry. However, Amort will learn there is more to this than just a basic exorcism, and everything will come to light. We think the past is at rest? Maybe not. Now, right off, I will not say that this is like this amazing exorcism film. We had that in the 70s. However, is we've had a lot of exorcism films that have come out with a lot of variants. This is one of the better ones. And I have to say, this one's actually anchored by the almost like hippie like priest like nature that Russell Crowe brings to it. In fact, to a point, I don't really agree at all with this worst actor nomination. I mean, there are films he's done where I would say that is a worst actor nod, but not here. I mean, Crowe and company know the film that they're making, and they make fairly watchable film. So his nomination not warranted, and neither is Franco Nero's. He has less than 8 minutes on screen as the Pope, and he just helps to provide some background information. Yes, we know. Judi Dench won her Oscar for, just under 8 minutes of screen time in Shakespeare in Love. But at least she did something that was memorable. It's not memorable or not. It serves its purpose. He's there. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick a worst performance, or I would say the weakest performance in this film, maybe Daniel Zavato as Amort's assistant, Father Escobar. I mean, I feel he was the weakest performance in the mix. But again, not terrible. This film is not going to be added to the greatest echelon of exorcism films, but there are some interesting spins. Here we learn a little bit more about the possessing spirit as opposed to just learning about the spirit, the person that we're trying to save. And some of the visuals were actually quite impressive. It was like a really good episode of Supernatural with more money in order to show some of the visuals. Now, this Razzie Award doesn't exist, but if it did, I won't say this film had a little bit of unnecessary nudity. So if there were a Razzie for worst use or most unnecessary use of nudity in a film, I'd put The Pope's Exorcist there for 2023. So that's it. For me, The Pope's Exorcist, it's a decent 3-star film. It falls in the middle. And honestly, I'm not a huge Russell Crowe fan, but here I appreciated what he did. And the trio that plays the family are convincing as, the fish out of water family that, they really care for one another. They're in this strange setting and they're going to try to pull through. Now, if you haven't seen The Pope's Exorcist yet and want to, or were on the fence and now you want to see how this plays, it is streaming exclusively on Netflix. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I'm going to do a quick plug. We're moving together nicely and accomplishing that goal of 100 subscribers by the end of season 2. We have 45 days to go, and we are over the 60% mark. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like the channel, spread the word, help me get more people to come and enjoy all this fun cinematic love. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms. Letterboxd, compare movie reviews with me. Please, people started commenting on the videos. Please do so. I love to interact with my followers. This is what it's about. It's about fun film loving. So that's where I'll leave it for today. See everyone tomorrow for the other devilish film that is a part of Razzie's week. Until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying, take a break.